Welcome to Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting, brought to you by Blue Microphones. They look great, they sound even better, and you know who I am.
Here's my buddy Andy.
That's right, it's your buddy Andy, America's little brother. And over there, look at him, stretching, he's careful. He's got his little spikes attached to his snowshoes because it's snowing. Ready to dance. Yes! Polka dancing his way across the podcast studio. Nick Pollock's in the house.
Good evening.
Good evening. One more round of snow, huh?
At least, right?
Yeah. I've noticed every year, the older I get, not that I'm an old man or anything yet, but every year the danger of falling on snow or ice becomes more real. When I was a kid, I didn't understand, like, who are these idiots falling down? And now every year it gets closer and closer.
Oh, yeah.
I wiped out once this year.
I took a hard one.
Yeah?
A few years back, yeah.
Right.
Just walking around a little curve in the sidewalk.
Are we getting too cocky, or are we just losing our functions, our
I don't
coordination?
I don't know if it's that or if it's complacency.
Yeah.
That we're just not thinking.
Maybe deep down we want to fall.
No.
No.
No, that's not bad.
There's no benefit to that.
We're trying to get out of work
Not
or
even
something.
No, it's not worth it. Not even for the story.
Want to get out of work, just call in and say, I'm not coming. There's no need to injure yourself
You're right.
at this stage.
You're right.
I'd like to think that we've grown up enough where we don't go to those
Yeah.
extremes.
You guys have. I have.
You don't want to work, you send an email, not working today. End of situation.
That's what you guys do. I'm falling down in my
Yeah.
driveway until it's bad enough.
Getting arrested, all manner of
Yeah,
things.
don't create a hoax about yourself falling just to get out of
No.
work.
Well,
Get
and
Rahm Emanuel all over you.
Well, if you're going to create a hoax about yourself falling, don't actually fall. That's when it ceases to become a hoax. Don't injure yourself.
I guess you're right. Good point. And you know who that was. You want him. We got him.
I think we need a gunslinger, somebody tough to tame this town. I think we need a gunslinger. There'll be justice all around.
Here it comes.
Put your hands together for the breakout star of the podcast medium. That's Chris L.
Chris, have you ever been on a horse?
I have been on a horse.
Okay. I haven't, but
Andy circulated a picture of me next to a horse recently.
really?
I was on that horse at one point.
Oh, okay. Same
Yeah.
horse.
Same horse. And one other time way back when. But yes, I've been on a horse. Why do you ask?
no, just because the song makes me think. That's
Like
the
a
visual.
cowboy?
Yeah.
Gunslinger.
Riding into
cowboy.
town,
Yeah.
taking out El Guapo.
But yeah, no, after February, I've decided to put the other intro on ice just for that month. Might bring it back for September, but I'm not sure it captures that vibe either. So
Yeah. Well, I had a good run.
Gunslinger's back.
It was a full year.
Yeah, no, it was good for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
return of the gunslinger.
it'll be back in February next year and
Yeah.
possibly September, but maybe not. But people like Gunslinger, and
Yeah.
it's back.
Yeah. It's a win-win.
It is.
Yeah. Can't go wrong.
Can never go wrong with A, John Fogerty, and B, a snare drum tuned that high. Both are
Yeah.
slam dunks.
Yeah, that is high. I noticed that right away every time.
I wonder if that's Kenny
Jarring.
Aronoff playing on that. He's been a sideman of Fogerty's for a while, right, Nick?
Don't know.
Okay.
Not sure how long, but
When's that song
I just-
from? 2000 something or
yeah, it's a fairly. I mean, as far as Fogerty's career goes,
Yeah.
fairly recent.
Yeah.
I forgot what the album was called.
Yeah. Whatever. Maybe we'll get it today and we'll find out. Who knows?
That
Because
would be something.
are we going back to the listener submission list today?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
business as usual, right?
Hey, you're the boss. It's your turn.
Well, I was just thinking about this, realizing it because it's St. Patrick's Day week.
Oh, goodness.
Don't pull any Dropkick Murphy shit this year.
Did we-
One and done with that
yeah,
garbage.
I think I'm in agreement with that. We did it once. That was good.
Please, yeah, let's not pander to the fucking Irish. Jesus.
I forgot that was this week.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about that just because.
It's Thursday.
No plans on intentional Emerald Island music.
Well, but plus there's a big hullabaloo about the weather for this weekend's Chicago St. Patrick's Day parade. It's supposed to be, wind chills around 0.
Oh, it's going to get that cold?
Yeah.
Jeez, okay.
Just when you thought Irish penises couldn't get any smaller, they're going to this weekend, the weekend ahead of this taping. It'll be a couple days in the rearview mirror of when this episode comes out. But yeah, those people do not need any shrinkage, but they're going to get it on Saturday because all those idiots are going to be out there. After a 2-year hiatus from the pandemic, they're just going to be the drunkenness and the idiocy is going to be off the charts.
Yeah, it's going to be a parade of acorn caps out there.
Worst, yes.
What do you got over there?
Oh, I was just showing Chris that he was correct.
Okay.
Oh, good, yeah.
There you go.
All right.
On the drumming call.
Kenny Aronoff.
I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy from that in-studio live version
you always talk
of
about that
Rock
guy.
and Roll Girls.
The Black and White Knight, isn't that it? Or was that was Roy Orbison?
Yeah, this was I know it was the Rock and Roll Girls performance, and that guy looks like the toughest guy of all time.
Yeah, Nick's a big fan of that guy.
He's just go watch it.
Didn't they film that in black and white too?
I think
Similar
so.
to the Roy Orbison Black and White Knight. That Orbison thing was such a success that I think they tried to copy the vibe with Fogerty and. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. If anybody can find that guy's name, maybe we can get him on the show and Nick can fawn over
the
him
baddest dude I've ever seen. I'll just say
sleeveless shirt, I believe.
the sunglasses, just
Gun show on display.
All right. I don't see anything over there, Nick.
No.
Oh, what the hell?
well, there
is
is.
it? Oh,
Hold
there
on
is.
a second.
Is it? Oh, is it
Hold
baked?
on.
Is it baked? It is.
It would have been at some point by somebody.
Good enough for me.
Time for a baked treat. Baked treat.
What is that, Nick?
From a listener,
Oh,
a friend of
What?
ours, Mr. Phil Myers.
Oh, right. There was that.
He was in town over the weekend.
I'm a little bit insulted.
Brought some cupcakes.
What are you insulted about?
Well, I'm insulted that he was in town. He picked up some snacks, and he just happened to just go to Nick's house and drop them.
No, I met him somewhere.
No, but I mean, he didn't ask me or Chris if we wanted to meet him for cupcakes. He had a group chat,
There are
and it
cupcakes-
turned into a sidebar about meeting up, which means Chris and I were not invited to meet
There are
up.
cupcakes in there for everybody.
That's a nice consolation prize, but I'm more insulted about.
well.
Well, Nick
this
is.
sidebar.
Everybody knows Nick is the most approachable
That's
member of the
true.
crew. He's the ambassador to the outside world.
If I was an outsider, I would probably want to start there.
Of course you would. Any
Yeah.
normal person would.
You're
You know?
right.
They're not going to start with me, that's for sure.
Well, they look delicious. Thank you, Phil. I'm just
From,
Molly's cupcakes,
Yeah,
right?
which I don't think I've ever had, but
I've gone there a couple times.
They look
yeah.
quite good.
What are the 3 varieties?
There's a creme brulee.
Of course there is.
That's right.
That's for you.
There's
Nick.
a key lime, and I honestly forgot the other one.
That last one. It's just got a couple berries on
I
the
don't know if
top
it's
and
like
no
a-
frosting. That's like a middle finger of a cupcake.
No, that's got
That's the
the
creme
that's the
brulee.
that's the creme
brulee.
brulee. That's
Yeah.
got like
Okay.
the glazed.
Oh.
You know,
All right, fine.
it looks torched. I don't know if it's actually torched, but
That's a
Fake
that's a-
torching,
a
possibly.
swing and a miss on that one, Phil.
Is it?
I don't
What
know.
are you?
It doesn't have any frosting on it.
Well,
it's probably got a filling. I mean, who knows?
Well, we'll find out today.
does a cupcake have to have frosting on it?
If it's worth a shit, then it does. I mean, what's the point of it if it doesn't have frosting?
Well, you
I'll just eat
cover
a
up the creme brulee action on the top.
Let's just eat hot dog buns then and call them cupcakes. Because what's the point? It's got to be frosting. It's got to be flavored. There's got to be something to it.
Well,
Garbage food. This out of here.
First of all, that one's not for you. Listen to this guy. He's
Andy.
complaining that Phil didn't contact him for the
tell
meetup.
ya, Andy got the. He got.
And Andy gets one of the fancier cupcakes, and it's still not good enough for him.
I'm hurt.
Andy reacts worse to the final frost than the new roses coming up in the garden.
Yeah, Jesus, man.
You're right. All right, I'll get over it. I apologize, Phil. I'll try to be a better person.
Wow, what a reaction.
It hurt me. So I'm trying to hurt him back. You know how that goes. Lashing out.
Lashing out.
Okay. Well, thank you. Like we said, we're going back to the listener submission list. It's Nick's turn.
Oh,
so
man.
why don't you mosey on over here?
Okay.
We will pull the bozo pewter,
All right.
and we'll see what
See
happens.
if we get another price suck song.
All righty. Here we go. Chink.
Stand by. Let's go over to the Bozo Pewter.
Way down there, number 3851. 3851. There it is. 3851. Yeah? You like it or no? What do you think?
Not that one.
No? Nick's kicking it. Okay. Well then.
Move along to the next trick.
What's your comment? Move up to the mic.
It was Irish as well.
Oh, fuck that. No, absolutely not.
All right, well then.
If you'd have picked it and I'd have realized it, I'd have nixed it, and I'd have sent him back over there. We're not pandering to the fucking Irish on this show this
That's
year.
just bizarre odds that happened, though. All right, well, I'm going to need you to pull it again, Nick. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, give it a pull. Okay, we got number 2961.
2961.
What do you think? Is it going to be a winner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That looks good.
Nick likes
All
that.
right.
Nick likey.
Like to hear that.
All right, well, did you catch the
Oh, yeah.
album?
No,
You got it?
I have this album. So.
Okay, so you know it. All right. Well, then, without any further ado, let's turn the microphone over to Chris Jericho.
All right, Hammo. This one's called
You Wreck Me.
Off of
Wildflowers.
by the band
Tom Petty.
Ow, oh,
Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, this is a jam for sure. I remember this came out mid-90s. I got the album, the CD.
Now this is a Petty solo album. It's not "And the Heartbreak."
correct. Yeah.
But the whole band plays on it basically, right?
I think so. And I want to say like a couple of guest spots, like Ringo Starr, I think, is on
Well,
a
of
couple of
course.
songs and things like
What's
that.
Jeff Lynne's involvement?
I don't know if you.
Fuck.
I'm looking it up to see. But I remember when this album came out. This is like Tom Petty especially growing up in Chicago area. There was a lot of Tom Petty
Yeah.
on the radio and on MTV. But on the radio, yeah, big time, like, Refugee, all kinds of songs. American Girl.
Yeah, that's pretty much everywhere, every classic rock
And
station.
I like pretty much all of his stuff, but for some reason this album was like, that's it for me. Like that's his best stuff. I don't know why. There's just something about it.
Well, it's
This
a
is-
Rick Rubin production, and also co-produced by Tom and Mike Campbell. So thank God Jeff Lynne didn't produce this. He'd have killed it, which is what he does to everything he touches. But no, Rick Rubin. This is a Rick Rubin joint. So
Yeah, I'm looking at the track list. It's got a lot of really good ones. I remember some big hits off of this. It's Good to Be King was an interesting, weird, kind of cool song. I remember on SNL, he did You Don't Know How It Feels, which is a great one.
Yeah.
And then he did Honeybee for the second one, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember that
With
song.
That was it. Grohl.
that
on
was
drums?
that was I remember watching it and thinking, oh, this must be what the drummer in Nirvana is doing now.
He was invited to join the Heartbreakers. He turned it down. Did you know that?
I'd heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mistake. Should have taken
Well, it would have
More stability there.
spared and or deprived, depending on your point of view. It would have spared or deprived the world of the Foo Fighters, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the thing. So before we get into the song, it's the thing I find unusual. Tom Petty, he's got a. What's the other? His other solo album is one with what?
Full Moon Fever,
Yeah,
where it's a pretty much a Wilburys album. They always say.
right. And it's what's that? Blanking on the first single. With the chick, the skateboard chick on the half pipe in the video near the mall.
Is that the one with Kim Basinger? Where she's dead?
No.
I can't think of.
dead.
Oh, Free Fallin'?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's the one. That's from Full Moon Fever, right? Which is
I don't
again
know.
a Tom Petty solo album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go to the personnel. The first five, it's all the fucking Heartbreakers. It's Tom Petty, Mike Campbell, Ben Montench, Howie Epstein, and Steve Ferrone, who became the drummer after Stan, what's his name, left the band. So that's the weird thing for me. It's like, what differentiates it between a Tom Petty solo album and a Heartbreakers album? The same guys are playing on it. It's not like a completely different style of music. Why do they deem one a Tom Petty solo album and the other a group album?
Is
That
it just a marketing thing? Is it a contractual thing?
It's got to be something along those lines, because it can't just be like, you know what, I can't play these songs in the Heartbreakers, so I have to put out a solo album with these songs. It's the same fucking sound.
This sounds like, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, was it similar when Phil Lynott would do solo stuff? I mean, he wrote everything in Thin Lizzy anyway.
I'm not that familiar.
Would he have like guys from Thin Lizzy on his solo stuff?
I'm not that familiar with his solo
Okay.
stuff, so I
I'm
couldn't
just
really
curious.
comment on that. But that actually brings up another comparison, because I've said that, a couple times on this show that Phil Lynott is like the Irish Bruce Springsteen. There's your Irish content for the week, by the way.
That'll do.
Bruce Springsteen has a few albums that's like a solo album.
Yeah.
Not E Street Band, but it's not like it's so completely different from the E Street Band stuff that you couldn't list it as E Street Band, and I'm sure he's got some of those guys playing on it. So I don't know what the thinking is behind that. If anybody has any insight, obviously chime in, but that just always seems strange to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at this Full Moon Fever. I know that's not the album we're talking about, but because that was his first solo album, and it says it was mostly written by Tom Petty and Jeff Lynne
Wow. Okay.
together, and then you said Mike Campbell, so he's like involved in the whole thing, but then it's Jeff Lynne and Phil Jones are the other two guys, and then there's like contributions from a bunch of other people, so maybe that's what it was, that it was written with someone else. And it's like, well, I'll still use some of you guys to come
maybe
in.
to their credit, the other Heartbreakers are like, I'm not going to put. We don't want our name on something that has Jeff Lynne involved to this extent. I don't see his name anywhere on the credits for this album, so automatically this is way better than Full Moon Fever.
Well, in my opinion, it is. But
Yeah, well, that would be valid because Jeff Lynne is not on it.
Oh, did they have a Heartbreakers album between those two? They did. Into the Great Wide Open.
Great Wide Open.
That's
yeah.
weird then. I could see if it was just like some weird,
like
a
a
record
period.
company deal or whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
Like you said, a marketing thing. Like, we're going to push Tom and we're not going with the. these people
But
are.
that's the other thing is like Tom Petty was always this guy who's like a renegade in the industry. When remember back with the Hard Promises album, they wanted to raise the price of it $1, and he refused to release the album unless they put it at the old price. So he's like, he doesn't strike me as a guy who just falls into line with whatever whatever the record label tells him to do.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, no, a Full Moon Fever had Mike Campbell, had Ben Montench, Howie Epstein on it, and
I'm looking at the there's on Wikipedia at least there's an outtakes area. Now I recognize the first one, Girl on LSD, which I think I talked about before on the podcast, but I called it probably Girl on Cocaine, which is a lyric, but Girl on LSD is the name of it, which I remember having moderate airplay for a while on Chicago rock radio. But this I didn't know, and this is interesting. Apparently he wrote Leave Virginia Alone for this album, but then I remember always liking the Rod Stewart version of it. I had no idea that was a Tom Petty song.
I didn't know that either.
I'm a fan of that one. That's pretty cool. He had a song like that didn't even make the album.
That is cool. Well, do you guys have any other thoughts on this before we dive in?
No,
You know what? I got to tell you who submitted it.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes.
Tyler Wilson. It came twice. We got Tyler Wilson, and he says, a bit of a classic rock radio standard, but I do like some Tom Petty. So thank you, Tyler. And then also from Jim Norris. Jim Norris says, this might be a wild card to choose as a favorite song, but this is my favorite TP song. It's a rocker. It has some kind of goofy lyrics in the middle and has some amazing playing by Mike Campbell. So
yeah, Mike Campbell's one of those guys who just, musician types, guitar nerds. He's pretty much universally praised. There's really nothing to criticize about the guy. So yeah, that's to be expected.
one thing I never knew, and I'm not going to look, where's Tom Petty from?
Somewhere in Florida, right?
See?
America's dick.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'll look now.
I have no idea.
I didn't know if you guys knew.
Gainesville?
Gainesville.
Something like that.
Okay. Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah.
You got it.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, those guys, they were in a band called Mudcrutch that became Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. But yeah, they're Florida guys.
Okay.
Stan Lynch, by the way, is the original drummer.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Fat Stan.
Or
from
Stan
Guitar.
Lunch.
Yeah, well, yeah. Which reminds me, I forgot to tell you that Fat Stan story. I'll tell you after the recording.
Okay.
And I also have to tell you my interaction with Bob the mechanic. I forgot to.
Okay, I can't wait.
So, yeah. Lots of good stuff to tell you offline.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with You Wreck Me.
Just the bare necessities as far as instrumentation, and they all sound great.
Mm-hmm.
I think the drums sound awesome on this song.
They do.
Actually, the whole album.
Yeah.
This is a great drum record.
Yeah, Rick Rubin's known for getting good sounds. The words "great drum record" are you would never hear that phrase used in conjunction with a Jeff Lynne production. I mean, his fucking snare drum sounds like a wet piece of cardboard is on the batter head on the snare. Always sounds like shit. Great calling card, Jeff. You really do great with that, by the way. You're known for his shitty drum sounds. That's the first thing you do as a producer is make sure you get a good drum sound. He fails miserably. So, yeah, Rick Rubin doesn't have that problem. He's known for getting pretty great sounds in just about every... I can't think of a project he's worked on that didn't sound great.
Right.
I mean, he's the Leo DiCaprio of rock production. Think about Leonardo DiCaprio. Has he ever turned in a bad performance?
Probably not.
I don't know any.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, some better than others, obviously, but
Sure,
like, has he ever outright sucked in a movie? The answer is no.
No, I'd say no. I haven't seen all of them, but I've never heard of one where he just sucked in it. Everything I've seen's been good. Isn't that just a common thing with recording an album? Like, we're going to spend the first several days just figuring out this drum sound.
You would think.
Yeah.
Seems lost on one Mr. Jeff Lynne, but that's
we were
key to everything.
We were listening to Fogerty earlier. I remember hearing, I think it was on Mark Maron's podcast. He was on there once, and he was asking him about how he gets his sound. And he said the drums are the number one thing.
Well, they're the number one thing in everything. We talked about this before, and it's a known fact. And it's always a dicey thing to give drummers this much credit or lay this much importance on them. But if the drumming sucks, the band sucks, and the recording's gonna suck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in terms of the recording, it's not just the drum performance, but it's the sound of the drums. It's why like so many 80s albums, especially hard rock albums, don't sound nearly as good as they should, is because the drum sound is terrible.
Yep.
And that got cured in the 90s, and I think people returned to paying attention to that. And some of the 70s production on drums is not great either. So, but I think since the 90s, that's definitely been a priority for producers, as it always should have been. And like, this album came out in 94. So, got back on track, but that's step one of production. Get the drum sound right.
Tonight we ride, right or wrong. Tonight we sail on a radio song.
The lyrics, I think, throughout most of the song don't really mean anything, at least not that I can decipher.
Okay.
But they're great, and they roll off the tongue, and they paint a picture, even though I don't really know what
he's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's to some extent. Excuse me. It's essentially it's a bit of a love song, right? He's talking about a relationship with a woman here in this song, right?
Yeah,
he is. Yeah. All right. Well, I got him in front of me. If we ever need any recall, let me know. But let's continue.
But I do like the line, "Tonight we sail" on a radio song.
Yeah,
that's a great line.
Getting your woman in a car and top down and driving around listening to music.
Maybe even in a convertible.
Yeah. Right. But it's like, well, yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, depending on the weather, But yeah, the top comes off, and then you figure the rest of it out. It's like
maybe even hers too.
It's like the first rule of production, the first rule of dating: take the woman's top off.
Yeah, right.
Everything else falls into place after that. But
I pointed at you because I thought you were going to make the same joke. Were you?
No, you caught me off guard.
But Tom Petty's got that. He's from Florida, but he's definitely got that sort of that heartland vibe to his music, like a Springsteen. And also the guy I compare him to the most is John Cougar.
Yeah, for sure.
Meaning that appealing to that heartland listener who's just they punch the clock all week, looking forward to the weekend when they can just crack some beers open. If they've paid all their bills that month, it's a victory, and they just want to hang out with their friends and their girlfriends and their wives and have a good time on the weekend.
It's like a Farm Aid kind of that guys who would play Farm Aid,
right? But it's not that coastal elite mindset where it's just like I'm gonna check my stock portfolio and make sure my pampered kids getting the best prep schools and all this stuff. It's a different value system for the type of listener that somebody like Tom Petty and John Cougar and Springsteen are appealing to.
Wait, why'd you do
Which
that?
ultimately, like, I'll hear people listening to modern country music. I mean, it's to just the level of exploitation of that sort of demographic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what people are going for.
Well, but that stuff is music for the heartland. Has had all the intellectualism stripped completely out of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, that's just like lunkhead music, kind of.
But I mean, that's the vibe.
But it is the vibe
that people are loving.
And the coastal elites still don't understand that. Guess what? That's the majority of the country.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that they enjoy and they can relate to, and they hear themselves, their stories in this music, and they love it, and that's why it's so massively popular.
Mm-hmm.
Rescue me. Should I go down if I stay too long in troubled town? Oh, yeah. You wreck me, baby. Yeah, you break me in two. But you move me, honey. Yes, you do.
Just a great pop song. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, and the title "You Wreck Me."
Mm-hmm.
That's
You like that?
Oh yeah, that it's fantastic. It shows like a vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
That this guy he's just can't get enough of this woman. That he's just he's hopeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great love song, pop song sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and it's a simple sentiment, but there's a lot of layers to it, and it can be interpreted in a bunch of different ways. And the instrumentation is very basic. The production is basic, stripped down. Although I'm sure that it sounds pretty straightforward, but I'm sure a lot of nuance is gone into the production.
Yeah.
But that's the genius of it. It's like it's very meticulous and thought out, but the end product just sounds like they set up a couple room mics and let the band go to town.
It's got that relatively dry sound,
Which Ruben is known for.
Which yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like, I mean, it's different, but I know like he did those Johnny Cash albums, super dry,
Sure.
super
Yeah.
like just basic dry stuff. Did a Neil Diamond album in a similar fashion to the Johnny Cash one. Same thing, there's something that I mean, there's imperfection when it's dry, or at least you can hear more imperfection.
Yeah.
But there's more of an emotional, like a direct emotional
You're getting
outpouring.
more.
Yeah.
Well,
more of the person.
in this particular song, you wouldn't want to overproduce it. You just kill the
No.
momentum of it, the charm of it. I mean, this is a basic, straight ahead rock song, roots rock song. You don't need to overdo it.
Now and again, I get the feeling, well, if I don't win, I'm gonna break even. Rescue me, should I go wrong? If I dig too deep, if I stay too long.
He did a little bit of that Bob Dylan-esque sort of, how he will do that with his voice, that too deep. Like, I can't really do it, but
You just did it.
yeah,
didn't
but
you?
not that good though. But it kind of like a Bob Dylan type delivery,
Yeah.
which he is prone to do. Like, he's an interesting vocalist because he'll do stuff like that, like odd sounding, real personality driven stuff. But then he's singing super high notes on Refugee
Yeah.
and like nailing them. It's he very, very capable, but sometimes you don't expect it
Yeah.
because it's very personality driven a lot of the time.
I was going to say, we've talked about this a lot with different rock stars. He would be one of those guys who would never have a chance of winning like an American Idol contest. But, you know.
Yeah. But they're doing his songs most likely.
Right.
And,
yeah. But like he's got an odd voice. He's nasally, but it's a personality, like you said.
Yeah.
You're getting Tom Petty.
But
it's
at the same time, he's got a pretty good vocal range.
Oh yeah, he does.
Well, sure.
On top of
it's just sort of an odd sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, a lot of people. It sounds like old guy ranting, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that it is true that in the 70s, 80s, and into the 90s, bands were developed, they were nurtured. Their first album wasn't a smash hit, and they were given another opportunity, and they nailed it, and he became a legend. But same with John Cougar again is another one. First album, early stuff didn't latch on really, but then he tapped into some success and became a music legend with a decades-long career. By being a unique artist, somebody with their own sort of style and flair, which you don't hear that a lot anymore.
And that's what people want. They don't care how good you are. Very small minority, when you look at the grand scale of things, care how good you are as far as like technicality.
It's like Andy and I were earlier this week sending each other a couple of videos back and forth, and he sent me like this guy on Instagram who's this amazing drummer. But it's like, okay, that's great, but how long am I gonna watch just a guy be awesome at drums? Like I want some sort of personality. I want like I want to be invested personally a little bit, interested in some sort of material. And that's everywhere now, though. Yep. You can go on YouTube, Instagram, anywhere, and find that guy playing the 24-string bass, and it's like, this is incredible, but I'm only going to watch this one time.
Yeah, you're not listening to that.
Yeah, like this
in your car.
This isn't nothing's endearing itself to me.
Well,
on a personal level.
You have to. You don't want to go down the road of of my favorite group of people, the bedroom dickheads on, guitar forums, or like somebody will post a video of some 4-year-old kid from Japan just shredding on the guitar, and they'll be like, "Great, what can he do in a band?"
Well,
but there is some validity to that because it's just like eventually you have to apply that to a song. You have to apply that to something that's going to resonate with somebody, like the lyrical content that we talked about. Just sitting there shredding is just it's going to be impressive, and but it's not going to resonate with you in any significant way or any emotional way.
And all I know personally is just what I like when I hear it and what I want to pay my attention to. And there's got to be a level of artistic expression, not just pure technical prowess.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I mean, and not criticizing anybody who can do that.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not I'm entertained by that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not posting negative comments. I'm actually sharing it with people.
Yeah, nothing negative. It's just it doesn't have that lasting appeal to me.
Yeah.
It's a quick novelty. Wow, that was awesome. But I'm not going to go back and really listen to it over and over. There's got to be some sort of original artistic expression going on.
Well, like I haven't seen this video you're talking about of the drummer, but it's like, okay, you take this drummer guy and say, okay, now play along to You Wreck Me and play it exact on the drums.
Yeah.
How long would it be before his muscle memory took him down some crazy like blast beat roll because he can't help himself?
Yeah. It would happen.
That's where the artistic expression comes in.
That's what I mean. It's like, okay, just play You Wreck Me with no embellishments. I don't think he could make it through. Not that he couldn't do it technically, but I just think, their muscle memory and their instincts are to just, throw in all this technical flash,
Yeah.
they couldn't do it.
Like,
His head would cave.
He would
in.
collapse probably.
He'd be like Bobby Fischer stabbing himself in the face with a fork. It's just his brain couldn't process it.
Yeah. I don't know. The reason I even brought it up was more so like, it's too late for us, but if there's any youngsters out there, I could see you getting frustrated if you're like, why am I even trying? Because I go on the internet and these people are virtuoso maniacs.
Yeah,
but,
don't do that.
but what I was going to say is that's the majority of what people actually like is not that. So don't get discouraged if you can't do that.
If your TikTok video isn't getting 2 million views of you shredding up and down a guitar neck, I mean, do what I did. I bought that Eddie Van Halen Starlicks tape. Took me 2 minutes to realize I'm never going to be able to play like this. So I might as well try and play like myself and hook up with some guys and make some music that's coming from me and not from somebody else.
There you go. And
of course, I wasn't successful either, but put that out of your mind and just,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a whole different world, though, man. The shit that's popular, like, you're starting to get these TikTok style videos in your Facebook feed, and like just out of curiosity you click on one and it's like 3 million views. It's like 3 million people consumed this drivel. What the fuck is going on? And I'm not even talking about music related stuff.
Okay, just anything.
Just anything.
Yeah.
People thinking they're funny and all these dancing videos. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't have TikTok. I've never actually been on it, but I've seen like
it's
people
seeping in because it's so popular. The other platforms are feeding you that stuff, and it's just like this is what the buzz is about.
I stopped.
This is what people do all day.
I stopped at Snapchat as soon as that came out.
That was your limit.
I was like, I'm not doing that or anything after it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, you got the right idea.
Well, Nick and Chris, you know what all those people are?
What's that?
Dickhead, he's a bedroom dickhead.
Finally got to premiere that one. All right, let's continue.
Everything that they're doing is appropriate to the song.
Wow, that's
great
what
song
they're known for,
Yeah, great sound. I mean, not and it's like we were just talking about. It's not extreme technical proficiency, but it doesn't need to be. Everything sounds great, even if it goes like a little bit off tempo. It adds to it.
Adds to the life of it.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about the guitar solo there specifically, it's a rock and roll guitar solo. It's rock and roll guitar playing is what it is. And it's Mike Campbell is, again, he's essentially unassailable by any guitar nerd or music enthusiast. I mean, and he's not Eddie Van Halen. Everything he plays is like perfect for that song. There are subtle elements of flash in what he's doing that shows that he's a master of the instrument, but he doesn't have to, peel your face off with everything he does to impress you. Yeah. And it's just rock and roll guitar playing executed at a very high level.
Yeah, those little rakes, I guess those would be called.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a great move, just to bust that out every once in a while. You got the drum sort of breakdown happening.
Mm-hmm.
Were those guitar rakes on your MySpace list of guitar techniques you rattled off?
I wish I could remember.
It's probably the best thing I've ever seen on social media. Nick's MySpace description had like one. I don't even know how to describe it. It's
it was guitar cliches,
but general observations about music and like the one thing, the requisite shifting up of the key a full step at some point in the song. He had like 20 of them, and every one I'd read, I would read it. I'd be like, yeah, that's true. The only
best
one thing that's ever been on social media.
The only one I really remember is the D bar chord, and then doing the G with your pinky, the do, going to the G, F sharp, E, back to F sharp on the high E string.
This was your bio about yourself.
That was all it said. Yeah, just a bunch of guitar cliches.
This is who you are.
Yeah. Well,
it's funny.
It's good as anybody else's bio.
Yeah, I like it. I just couldn't remember if it was that or if it. I don't even remember how MySpace worked. If you could do a post, even. I guess you could, right?
Blog.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't know if it was a blog.
It's been a while.
It was mainly just
It was for people to put really loud music on when you went
loud
on their,
music
on their
and the
page.
most mind-altering like background,
animations.
Yeah,
and,
it's just a
but
terrible interface. But Nick had the best bio in the history of social media.
But it has all gone downhill since then. So I think.
Well, and that
was
back when it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
You could put whatever on there, and it was recreation.
Yeah,
it's not recreation anymore.
Right.
No, and they weren't collecting everybody's data. They weren't bombarding you with ads and all this other stuff, and it's just like it's a data collection nightmare, and And they're not even subtle about it. It's like the most innocuous thing you could search for on Google, whatever, anything you're curious about. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. Just pick something, whatever it is. The next time you go on Facebook, you're gonna get hit with fucking 6 to 8, 10 ads in a row about that exact thing immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're not even subtle about it. They don't trickle it in at you. They fucking hit you right between the eyes with it immediately.
Have you guys ever had? Now I'm not just being paranoid here. Have you guys ever had it? It's happened to me a couple times where you're talking. Your phone is in the room
absolutely.
with you. You're talking to somebody about something, and then maybe a day or two later, I was just talking about that.
But you never searched for it.
No,
on your
never
phone?
searched for it. The phone was just there with you.
Every free app, you have to give them access to the microphone in your phone.
Oh man, the stuff that they hear.
And the one thing, the thing that convinced me of that was a couple jobs ago. We was like. I don't know how we were talking amongst ourselves, phones out on the desk. We were talking about some stuff, and we somehow got on the subject of monocles. And I was talking to my boss, and I'm like, "You should get a monocle. The monocle needs to come back as a men's accessory." The next time I picked up my phone and went to Facebook, there was a fucking ad for a store that sold nothing but monocles. I'm not kidding.
Which, like, you would never see that unless you were talking about it.
And I certainly never Googled it, typed it in. We were simply talking about it. Got picked up through the mic, and there you have it.
Yeah. So I usually take my phone into the bathroom. That probably explains why some of the ads come up that I got for supplements.
I spent
hemorrhoid cream.
I spend a lot of time with my kids working from home, so that explains why I get ads for NWA albums.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
I'll be the boy in the corduroy pants. You be the girl at the high school dance.
Great lyric.
Oh yeah,
right there.
I mean, that's the one. That's the set of lyrics that really just like everybody can relate to, you know. And whatever did happen to corduroy pants? How come they went out of favor?
I got a couple pairs.
I'll wear some next week.
Yeah,
I need to get some. I don't currently own some.
I've got the thick ones from the 90s still.
Oh, they're like
Got a
quarter of an inch
of
thick.
those, yeah.
whatever.
That lyric reminds me of pretty much the same sentiment expressed in like a really sweet, innocent way like that when we did the we did the Ace Frehley version, but we did the I Want to Go Back Eddie Money song.
Yeah.
There's the first school dance, hoping that I get it right. Something like that.
Everybody can relate.
Yeah, and the same thing with this.
Yeah.
It's a an innocence, again, like a sweetness to
And
it.
I think that corduroy pants implies a slight bit of awkwardness. Like, it's like you go into the dance looking to attract this girl, but you put on a pair of corduroys, and it's like maybe that wasn't the best choice, but
they're not
it's
comfortable.
But that's what it said. That's what it communicates to me. It's that this awkwardness and this kind of like, everybody can relate to
Yeah,
that.
he doesn't have everything figured out. Maybe
Right.
not the most stylish or popular guy.
And the song Honeybee on this album, there's a lyric, I'm a man in a trance, I'm a boy in short pants when I see my honeybee. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good too.
Run with me wherever I go and just play dumb, whatever you know.
Yeah, the doom,
Yeah, it was
the
another-
very Dylan-esque.
Yeah.
But he pulls it off.
Yeah.
He spices, he peppers it
Yep.
throughout the song, and it just
It works for him.
it's great. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Was it Jim Norris who said this is his favorite Tom Petty song?
Yeah.
It might be mine as well.
Who said it was?
Wasn't
Oh,
One of the two.
one of the
Yeah.
people submitted
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean this might be mine also. This song was all over the place. I remember when it came out, and rightfully so.
What's yours, Andy? Do you have one?
It might be this one. I'll think about it. I mean, there's obviously like the 4 or 5 big hits. I don't go super deep on Tom Petty, but
But
would
he
be
had a
one of those-
million
Yeah,
hits,
he
so,
did.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my whole Tom Petty understanding was 90s MTV. So,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot
Yeah.
before that, like we said, but,
Right.
that stuff didn't really have music videos.
I think "Don't Come Around Here No More" was my first exposure with the Alice in Wonderland video.
Yeah. That's what that
Yeah,
was.
mine
yeah.
would either be "Here Comes My Girl" from Damn the Torpedoes,
Okay.
or "Change of Heart" from I think "Long After Dark" was the album. Might be wrong about that, but
I don't know that one.
that's those two are neck and neck for my favorite Tom Petty tunes.
And even I remember when "You Don't Know How It Feels" came out. I think it was the first single off this album.
Yeah.
I remember instantly really liking that one. That's another one that's up there for me.
Yeah, I like that one
This
too.
this album, for some reason, this was
It's
the
like
one
your
that-
wheelhouse. Like
I guess age-wise,
Yeah.
but I just think it's a little different. It's a little drier. It's got the Rick Rubin production. There's something about it. Like the drums on this just sound awesome to me. Like fairly dry, but it works. Like it doesn't need effects.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you wreck me, baby. Yeah, you break me in two, but you move me, honey. Yes, you do. You wreck me, baby. Yeah, you break me in two.
You know, we're talking about how this song is just like a basic rocker. I think Motorhead could have done a version of this.
Oh yeah.
I
That
think
would've
that I think it would have worked.
Totally.
This is one of those just straight ahead rockers. Like the
Lemmy's voice would have sounded good.
I
doing
think
that.
so.
Yeah.
I think it would have, and I think I mean, of course, it would have been Motorhead-ized. It would have been heavier. The hi-hat would have been opened a little more by Mickey D and all that stuff, and it would have been it would have been more overdriven. But I think I think I would have loved to have heard Motorhead cover this just to hear what it sounded like, because I think it would have worked.
Damn
Yeah, no, I can hear that. I can hear that happening.
Oh, but you love me, honey. Ah, yes, you
Little tambourine for you there, Andy.
Yeah,
Even played some air tambourine right there.
I did.
See?
I'm okay with
for
it.
a song to have tambourine in it that Andy likes it's quite something.
That's very tasteful.
That's an accomplishment. Yeah, that's a good word for this song in general.
Yeah.
Tasteful.
You know,
Yeah, like I said, the guy Benmont Tench, Mike Campbell, all those guys just known for playing the exact right thing at all times. Just consummate pros.
yeah. I was just thinking the Motorhead comparison. It would be kind of like the Run, Rudolph, Run, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like-
Yeah, I mean, because, well, their first single was Louie Louie, I think. So, I mean,
Okay.
Motorhead established right off the bat
Yeah,
that,
they could do that kind of
that,
music.
that's something they're going to bust out once in a while.
Yeah. Well, Nick, you picked this one off the list. Sweet Surrender or Kick in the Crotch.
A very sweet corduroy covered, upholstered Surrender.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
I want to say one time I tried, I don't know if it worked or not. I was recording something and I wanted like that sort of brush on the snare drum, like how
a jazz sound.
Yeah, but not like a hit, more like a brush, you know. And I want to say I put my corduroy pants on and put a microphone by it and rubbed it. And I don't know if it worked or if I ended up I ended up thinking it sounded any good or not.
That's funny.
But that just came to mind for some reason. Corduroy pants count as percussion.
Hey, it's a trick in the studio.
No, I mean, I was praising this song the whole time. I don't have much else to say except for this was I was in my mid-teens when this came out. I think it's just an exceptional album in an exceptional career.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, the percussion instrument that would be similar to scraping corduroy pants would be the Super Guiro, Guiro. I've encountered these. I had no idea what the name of it was, but it's like it's got two holes in the bottom of it for your fingers. You hold it like that, Andy. This is what it looks like. It's like a loaf of bread.
Yes.
It's got the ridges on top, and you just have a stick, and you scrape it across.
I think in there were cases where Tito Puente's equipment didn't show up to the gig.
He used the top of his dick at one point.
On his pants.
Well, I was gonna say he found someone in the audience that had corduroy pants on.
Yeah. Well,
and then rubbed his dick on that person.
Exactly.
I just had to make it work.
Right.
Oh, well.
Let's all go home.
So I like the song.
Okay, good. Chris.
Sweet Surrender for me.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
Straight ahead rocker. Tom Petty is. It's hard for me to. I don't know. It's like I never understood why he was regarded so much more highly than John Cougar. To me, I see them as like equals, and if anything, I think John Cougar, and they should be calling him John Mellencamp because he's rejected that record company fabricated name. But if anything, that guy's his career. You never hear anything from him on radio, which radio is a disaster anyway. But
Yeah.
like any of his recent stuff, if anything, he's gotten just way more legit with his music, and it's dealing with a lot more like a lot more substance to the subject matter versus just singing about affairs of the heart and things like that. And but I never it just Tom Petty. It just maybe it's because of his association with the likes of Harrison, Orbison, Dylan, all those guys, not Jeff Lynne. But he just seems to be held in such a much higher regard than like John Cougar, like almost on a Springsteen level. And I just see Tom Petty and John Cougar as John Mellencamp as more of like equals. So in that respect, and what I'm about to say is probably going to ruffle some feathers, but I think Tom Petty is a tad overrated in terms of how he's regarded by the listening public. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's legit got dozens of hits. There's no question about that. It's not a Prince thing where, he's got maybe 5 hit songs. No, he's got several dozen.
I was just looking at like the essentials of Tom Petty. I'm like, damn, that one too, and that one. And that one, and that one.
I mean,
that
that's
goes on
just
forever.
A million hits.
The list goes on, and he's got a million hits and stuff. But still, for some reason, I think he's a tad overrated. But putting all that aside, this is a good one, straight up rocker. Can't argue with any of it. I mean, it's like we talked about, the lyrical content and stuff that you can relate to, and the whole high school dance thing. Everybody can relate to that. They're transported back to that time in their lives when they hear it, and that's legendary songwriting right there.
And this is just a song where when you hear it, if you're out somewhere, you put your arm around your girl. Like that's really the only effect. Yeah, that's what it's going for.
You don't get pissed off when you listen to this song.
No, there's yeah, exactly. This is a feel good song.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Tom Petty had his odd stuff. Like I was talking about Last Dance with Mary Jane. Weird, great song. Weird though.
Yeah,
like he wasn't just. Not all of his stuff, obviously, was this straight ahead.
Well, and
lovey-dovey.
that's the other one. It's like every fucking lame ass cover band trots that one out. It's like, stop playing that one, okay? Enough, no more. Seriously, I saw a video on Facebook. Somebody we all know in the cover band he's currently in, and they're doing "Last Dance with Mary Jane." It's like, just stop with that.
Move on.
So much basic bullshit, and it's just like, but it's one of those songs like "Sweet Home Alabama" where just for whatever reason a room full of drunks just fucking responds to it.
For the reason alone, it's probably effective because it talks about the Indiana boys on the Indiana nights.
That's the main reason.
And if you're from around here and you play that, everybody knows the song,
right.
And when you get to that part, people are going to
start pointing at their crotches.
Well, and Tito Puente is going to come out, yeah.
Yeah, and the mention of underwear and all that stuff. It's just like,
that drives a region rat
but
wild.
Seriously, it does. It's like something about that word that comes out,
Bunch of idiots who love underwear. Yeah.
There's certain, it's like everybody's like, you see a harder rock band and they've got "Killing in the Name" by Rage Against the Machine in their set. Like every one of them has it in their set. Is it because everybody wants to play Rage Against the Machine? No. It's because everybody wants to get a room full of people yelling "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me" at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
And people will respond to that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Naughty words. Yeah. People love it. All right, well...
But yeah, I hate that. "Last Dance with Mary Jane" is probably his worst song in my estimation.
So I'm inviting all the listeners to come and see the inaugural performance in a couple of weeks of my new cover band, the Region Underwear Company.
You're going to have a sellout.
I'm telling you, if that song didn't have the word underwear in it, it wouldn't be as popular. There's some other ones that fit that description where it's like there's something. Oh, another one. It just popped in my mind that you see on a ton of cover band lists, at least you used to, and you see it and you're like, you scratch your head. It's like, why is every cover band playing it? The song "Laid" by James.
Oh,
remember
yes,
that?
I do.
And the reason why is that one lyric, she only comes when she's on top. If that song didn't have that lyric in it, no cover band would ever play it.
No one would have ever heard it.
Right.
Didn't Barbara Bush say that? No, just kidding.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Okay, I have to vote. I too will give it a sweet surrender.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
What can you say about
You wreck me.
that hasn't been said before?
That was the most seamless one yet.
That was really
Yeah.
nice. That worked out. Oh yeah, I mean, there's not a ton to say other than that it's awesome. Great song. Toe tapper, like
Yeah,
you
it
said,
is.
makes you feel good. Good
The
driving
rock and roll
song. Rock and roll
yeah,
song.
And then speaking of getting back to our roots, and it's right in the wheelhouse of Fogerty. You can hear Fogerty doing that. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there has to be an influence, huge influence from Fogerty to Petty.
You would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, any quality songwriter of the classic rock era, if they don't tip the cap to Fogerty, that something's wrong with that.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Well, who would have thought?
All right, Hammond, I got a question for you.
Man, I got tagged in this Facebook post, and it was some bootleg vinyl collection. It was 4 discs. I think we'd seen this a couple years ago, but one of the 4 discs was this 1974 Hammond show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. There's like 4 live shows from, I think they're all from 74.
And did you say vinyl?
Yes.
Okay.
But it was like really, like whoever made it, it's really nice. Like it's not just like some black record with a white sleeve. Like
Yeah.
it's really, the artwork's incredible. And they're all colored discs and whatever. But it said, the lowest price you'll see this one posted for. So if you're interested, get it. It was $365 for this 4-disc set. I'm like, that's the lowest price?
Well, I guess it's some guy got it made and it's got to cover that cost, probably.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah.
Be a real collector there. More power to you, though. If
Yeah.
that's what you're into.
Yeah, and someone will probably pick it up and it'll be an ultra rare crown jewel of their collection.
Yeah. That would wreck me
Yeah, good one.
if I bought that. Okay.
All right, so while you're getting the votes together, so I looked up the Giro on Amazon, and of course I got to see the 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
I've got a few of them here. I'd like to
Okay.
read them pretty quickly.
Okay.
But it's a Latin percussion super Giro, quality brand and music.
The standard.
Yeah, you would think.
Yep.
Okay, we got Susan here.
Oh, God.
Might as well be named Karen, but
Yeah.
that goes. Same thing. All right, headline: cheap plastic artificial sound. Not sure how this passes as a good sound, but it sounds quite awful. Cheap, artificial, and not something I want to bring to the campfire.
What the hell?
I had much better success buying a custom and handmade wood one off of Etsy. This just isn't it. Hard pass.
I wouldn't bring one to
Yeah.
the campfire. People are going to think the predator's out in the woods.
Exactly.
That's true, yeah.
And if you found a better one on Etsy, good for you. Why'd you buy this other one?
Yeah. What a fool.
Idiot. And then we've got this one from Antonio. Received without scrapers. Received without scrapers, box in bad condition. The gyro is useless without scrapers. He does have a point. I find it surprising. Maybe he got a return. Somebody pulled the scrapers out. Who
That
knows?
could be, yeah.
Then finally, from Rodolfo O.
Oh.
And it's a 2-word review. 1 word in each of the headline and the review. Headline, material. Review, plastic? With an exclamation point and 2 question marks.
So what is it supposed to be
It's
made
supposed
of?
to be made of wood. It's
Like
like
a hollow piece of wood.
Yeah, but how much is it?
$50.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess it's
Yeah.
not too unreasonable to expect something better than plastic.
Well, I don't think it is plastic. Let me look it up here, but
I might just flat out say this is plastic. We need to know.
it is. It's from high strength plastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Designed to eliminate the durability issues inherent with the natural version of this.
There you go. The wood ones crack.
Technology. The future is now.
Yeah, Latin percussion. They know what they're doing over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway,
all
my
right.
vote's in.
My vote's in, Nick.
Yeah.
All right. I'm voting first. I don't know why, but I just feel like it. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Nick, then Chris. Okay. Rock.
Roll.
Bono.
It's a rock and roll ball,
Has to be a Tom Petty fan.
I'm sure he is.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Anybody who has ever stepped foot into a bowling alley.
Oh, yeah. That's just part. I mean, like what Chris was saying.
Yeah,
And both of you.
Yeah, it's that scene. It's
Yeah.
that environment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And plus, you know, he's got songs like, well, the big one, American Girl. You know, anytime you drop the word America or American in something, these clowns just flock to it. Just they can't resist it. You know?
I think there's one song where it didn't work, and that's "Hello America" by Def Leppard.
No good, huh?
No,
I can't even think of what song that is.
It's
so.
like their first. Well, I don't know if it's their first single, but it was them. They're a big American, you know. I think the first thing they were trying to bring over.
Well, they
Not a-
eventually conquered America.
They did, but
at that point we
but
said
you don't-
goodbye,
you-
Def Leppard.
You don't hear that song
I've never heard
being lauded very much.
No.
It's not a great song. Sorry, Tom.
Oh,
Tom Codal.
Tom
Not
Codal,
Codal,
Petty.
not Tom Petty.
Tom Petty doesn't have an opinion. Well, he doesn't have an opinion on anything
Oh,
anymore.
yeah,
but
but he probably
he
wouldn't.
wouldn't have an opinion on Def Leppard song.
All right. Well, if you disagree with us, we're sorry.
That's just the fucking way it is.
How about a commercial, guys?
Oh, love one.
Yeah. It's going to be whatever you've been looking up. Your data has been
Whatever
collected.
whatever you were talking about
Yeah.
with your coworkers.
It's true.
That's what this commercial will be.
Yeah, this app
So-
is guilty too.
So we'll
We're
see
all-
how professional your environment is.
Man, you look up some weird
You
stuff.
should be ashamed
you
of
creep.
yourself and
What a-
everybody that you associate
Don't
with.
you blame that on us.
Now you're all going to be getting ads for super gyros in your whatever feed you're looking at. That's probably. I should look on Facebook. I'll probably get
Well, I mean,
10
you-
ads for percussion.
You looked it up on
instruments.
Amazon. It's all over.
Well, I looked it up on Google,
Oh, yeah.
which
So
led me
everyone
to
got it.
Amazon,
yeah,
so it's
then
everywhere.
it's
So, yeah.
it's in your FBI file now.
Well, you know.
Armed with Super Gyro.
All right.
Well,
Well,
nothing yet. I'm getting a Big Mouth Inc., the original toilet mug. Coffee mug in the shape of a toilet.
That's good.
It says hilarious. In the,
Those got to be all 5-star reviews.
you would think.
yeah, they know you love gag gifts.
Unless the handle broke off in the dishwasher or something.
Yeah, it would be bad. Can't microwave it.
Or
Gets too hot.
the proportion of the toilet tank is not accurate. Too small. Sent back. Do not buy.
All right. Did you get one yet?
Of
No.
course.
Yeah.
I don't know. The headline of the first one turns yellow on first washing. I mean, what do you?
Maybe that's on purpose.
Yeah,
That might be by
exactly.
design.
I mean,
By design.
That joke's on you, pal.
arrived broken. Even though it was in styrofoam, the mug was completely shattered. Also, rather large.
Isn't that what you want in a coffee
I
mug,
don't know,
though?
weird.
Should
People
you
are
complain if something glass is delivered to you broken? It's not.
It
the
doesn't have
product's
anything to do
fault.
with the
It has
product,
Nothing to
yeah.
do with the product.
Well, it's like when there's a 0-star review and its customer service is horrible.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I get it, but that's
You're mad
not-
at Amazon. Or
Yeah,
you're mad
but
at
that's
your delivery.
Yeah, but
person.
people want to know about the actual product.
Yeah. Whatever.
My favorite, least favorite, in actuality, if you were looking up a recipe, it's got, I don't know, we'll just say a dozen reviews, 4.5 stars, right? Oh, okay, this is great. You look at the reviews, just you might have a question, you might want to, whatever. Doing some research, and most of the reviews are, wow, these look awesome. I'm going to try this.
So they never even.
5 stars. This looks incredible.
Yeah. Well, I have a suspicion that when you see stuff like that, it's just like I don't know.
Bots
Yeah,
feeding-
just feeding garbage to that
bullshit reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, guess what time it is? Look at your watches.
I don't get yards of questions. Motherfucker, I give them.
Sing away.
Yes, Chief.
Chris, did you leave a 1-star review of that Miami Sharks hat that we got for you for Christmas? Or for Halloween?
Montezuma hat.
The Montezuma Monroe hat.
I would if I knew where you bought it.
It was on Amazon.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
We might maybe.
What
next
would your
week.
review be, Chris?
Yeah.
The headline would probably just be all lowercase letters, terrible.
Painful.
Yeah, it's just probably the worst shaped hat of that variety I've ever seen and or owned.
I will not disagree.
All right, well, this week's Yardo Questions comes to us from Jonathan Meisner.
Hello, Jonathan.
Greetings, gentlemen. It's my Monday. It's my day off, and I've got 3 fairly straightforward questions about the Windy City.
Wow.
All right. Well, see what we can do.
Question 1. What is the greatest Chicago-based movie of all time, and why is it The Blues Brothers? But that's Jonathan's opinion. What do you guys think? What's the greatest Chicago-based movie of all time?
I would have to. I mean, hard to argue with Blues Brothers, but just to throw another one out there, just off the top of my head, would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean,
That's the other one.
Yeah. Those are both movies where the city is a character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a big
Right.
part of it. It's not just
Yeah.
in the background as, they're driving somewhere.
Right.
It plays-
That and a movie I, for whatever reason, was messaging with Tom Kodal about today. Taking Care of Business, the Jim Belushi film. Charles Grodin.
Okay.
Jim Belushi.
Yeah. That's a good one. I
Weird
don't
coincidence.
Risky Business is another good
Yeah.
one.
There are a lot.
For the rom-coms, While You Were Sleeping, one that I really like
Is
watching.
that's a Chicago?
That's
I never
very
saw
much
it.
Chicago. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the. It might be South Shore Metro or something like that. It takes place at the station. A lot of Chicago in that movie.
I know that.
Interesting. Okay. Well, question 2. What is the greatest Chicago-based television show of all time?
Oh.
And why is it the Bob Newhart show?
It's Perfect Strangers.
Oh, there it is.
But hard to argue with the Bob Newhart show, yeah. And I just thought of another movie if I can go back really quick.
Go ahead.
Of course you can. It's your show.
Uncle Buck.
Oh, I was going to say Uncle Buck, yeah.
Yeah, let's not forget. You had to put John Candy in there if we're talking Chicago movies.
Yeah.
That's true. Chicago TV shows.
What else is there besides like Chicago Fire, Chicago Hope?
ER. Wasn't that in
Is
Chicago?
that based in Chicago?
I think it was.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, I can't really think of any other than the ones that are mentioned. But
I mean, Shameless, if you're into that.
Yeah, I've never.
Oh, the
never seen that
William H. Macy
one?
I never saw that, but have you watched it?
Yeah, I never finished it, but I probably watched 4 whole seasons of it.
Is it good?
It's ridiculous, but it's funny.
Yeah.
It's like one of those shows where it's too over the top.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to think of any other show that was based in Chicago. Well, Married with Children was based in Chicago.
There you go.
There you go.
Which I have no desire to watch at the age that I'm at. I get it. It's fun infantile humor, and I'm on Pot of Thunder every week.
Right.
But it's not something that I ever have a desire for.
I'm the same way. I'm not compelled to watch those reruns, and they're on pretty regularly and on multiple channels. I don't know. That doesn't draw me in either.
Roseanne is a Chicago show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, we've never seen an episode, nor will I. It's beneath me. I'll say it. Trash people being depicted on the screen. I have no interest in that.
That's Shameless takes it to an extreme degree. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that ought to hold you.
Okay. And then question 3. Who's the greatest Chicago-based rock band of all time, and why is it Disturbed? Just kidding, Disturbed suck. And while you think about that, he says, thanks for always starting the week off right and keeping us entertained. Chris, glad to hear you're on the other side of COVID. This is from a while ago. And you're doing better.
Yeah, that wasn't fun, but, wasn't in any grave danger, but I was pretty miserable for a couple of weeks.
Chicago-based rock band.
I guess close enough. They're regarded as Chicago area, Rockford, Cheap Trick. I mean, you got
that's probably the right answer, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chicago was pretty damn good in the early days before Peter Cetera took over and just totally emasculated everything. What a wuss that guy turned out to be.
My mother's listening.
Is she a fan?
Oh yeah, she saw them several times.
But she probably saw them back in the day when they were still a potent act.
Well, but she's a Cetera era fan.
No, that I can't.
Well.
I can't abide that. But then again, I'm not a woman, so.
But yeah,
hard to say. I'm sorry.
She saw Terry
You're the
Kath.
inspiration. What a bunch of crap.
I mean, I'm not a Smashing Pumpkins fan, but as far as like the biggest bands from Chicago, you have to.
It's got to be them.
You have to mention them.
The last 30 years.
Yeah, and I've never been much of a fan.
Me neither.
Very, very, very rarely do I hear anything by them that I was really into.
Their first 2 albums were certainly legit. Gish and Siamese Dream. Then they kind of, I don't know, got a little too big for their britches, putting out double albums, and
with an orchestra.
Albums titled Melancholy and The Infinite Set. Just fuck off with that. Call it Gish. Call it Siamese Dream.
To be fair, Guns N' Roses went down the same
path. Of
path.
course they did. There's no question. But, that's like too big too soon. It's like, I don't know.
I feel like the city of Chicago is missing that one big band.
Yeah, I mean,
like an Aerosmith or like a Kiss or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
a Motley Crue, a Van Halen. Like your big ass rock band from a certain time. Like Chicago was big, but there's not like a hard rock band that really made it. Like Enough's Enough is not. I don't even have to finish my sentence, but
well, as far as like bands that have a lot of good songs, Cheap Trick, Enough's Enough, I would say, is in the conversation for the hardcore fans, but they're not. Yeah, they never made it to that level.
No, they didn't.
But as far as
put them, let's not mention them alongside the Cheap Trick. Okay, come on.
Can't think of that one band that I really disliked that Andy played a show, and I think they were on.
Oh, Mest.
I was gonna make a Mest joke, but I couldn't think of their name.
They were a band from like
Blue
Island area, and they it was just like the local. When you'd go see bands that we were into in the late '90s, like these punk bands, they were always the local band that was opening.
Yeah.
And then they got a deal, and then they had a song at the time that was on like, the Q101 and major label thing, and they had a video on MTV. And
Andy played a show one time, and I think weren't they? Or
they were the headliner. I was with Bob McLean with Myopia. Yeah.
So you played with them.
I filled in on guitar, believe it or not.
With Myopia?
Yeah.
Really?
And I think in 2000. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, but that's the kind. That's a band that they had success for a while, and people were really loving them.
Yeah, a couple years.
I'm like, what's going on here?
Similar to Plain White Tees or Fall Out Boy. There's a bigger band.
Yeah.
Not huge, but
they're pretty huge.
They're pretty huge.
They play they played fucking Wrigley Field with Green Day and whatnot.
Yeah, Green Day and Weezer.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Plain White Tees played at the cafe.
They did, right?
They did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They used to play.
That was the one. I actually had Fall Out Boy booked, and then they got signed, and I suddenly couldn't afford them anymore. But they were on the docket.
Really?
Wow. Never ended up playing. But Plain White Tees played at the cafe, and that. You guys remember Ben Mullen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hairdresser shop was also on Sheer Genius.
Yeah, we played his place a couple times.
Yeah.
So when the Plain White Tees were playing at my cafe, me and him were, standing behind the counter. I was watching the performance, and he said to me during their concert, their show there, he's like, "Keep an eye on these guys. They're gonna be big one day." And I'm like, "You're fucking crazy. These guys are no different from any other bands that play here. What's so special about them? I don't see anything special about them."
Yeah.
A year later, they're I see them on MTV. I'm like, okay.
Whatever it was.
But yeah, they were the most quote unquote famous band to have played at my cafe.
Okay. Well, so you said Smashing Pumpkins, or no?
Well, the question was best Chicago band. You can't deny their worldwide fame.
Yeah.
And popularity, but not for me. I would have to go with Cheap Trick.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Chris on that.
Man,
one.
they're from Rockford, which is a fair distance away from Chicago, but they're generally regarded as a Chicago band. And you want to talk not necessarily hits, but the big thing going around on the internet now recently is the fact that they just did a residency in Las Vegas, 4 nights in a row.
Okay.
Played a total of 70 songs over those 4 nights, but there's 4 repeats over the whole stretch. They dumped out the whole catalog.
That's great.
And everybody, guys on Shout It Out Loud podcast were like, what are the chances of Kiss ever doing that? And then they put the Animal House meme up where the Dean Wormer is going 0.0.
Yeah, that would never happen.
No.
I'll say that's like a Metallica thing. Didn't they do that for that Orion Fest?
Right.
But
yeah. But I guess I don't know. Not to slack on Kiss too much. They do that kind of thing for the cruise.
But they don't go as deep as they don't. they could go deeper, and they don't.
I mean, they did
And
She's
if-
So European last time.
Yeah,
That
but
was
they
cool.
could still go even deeper than that. And if there's ever going to be a crowd that you're going to go deep for, it's the people on the cruise, because those are the hardest core of Kiss fans out there. There's no, there's nobody who just casually wandered onto the cruise and it's like, I want to hear rock and roll all night, and that's it. It's like you could dump out the deepest deep cuts. And it'll be wildly appreciated.
Yeah.
They could go deeper on the cruise.
Because they just do like what, maybe 3 or 4 deeper cuts.
Right.
It's not a whole set of deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I was saying earlier about the super technical drummer who can't make it through a song without showing off what he can do. They simply can't make it through any set without dumping out a love gun or a cold gin or something. It's like, play a set of all deep cuts. Are you capable of that? I don't think they. I literally. There's something about it's that marketing, money making mindset that will not allow them to like ignore certain songs in any set that they do.
Now I know they're workaholics, but it comes off as lazy somehow.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense, but it's
that
like,
part of it.
It's like, wow, they're not. Did they rehearse for this, or did they just kind of show up?
Well, that part they've got down. The
That's what I mean,
workaholics is
yeah.
everything else. Yeah.
And before we end the questions, I was thinking, there's an obvious one that we missed. That over the years, people of a certain generation, I've run into several who said, I used to see Styx play in my friend's basement.
Oh, yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
So
that's a
Styx
good
has
one,
to be
too,
mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now Styx is definitely up there, and those that we've talked about it before. Those bands that get called corporate rock bands, meaning the big four were like Journey, REO, Styx, and I don't know, maybe it was just the big three, but it's just like, Boston was the other one. It's like, geez, these bands that dared to be popular with people are criticized for it, and they certainly don't get any props from like your Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Styx was huge at one point, and so that's another good one.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for your Yardo questions. And if you want to submit a Yardo questions, go to potofthunder.com, click that widget and make it happen. Fill up that inbox, add some songs to the listener submission list, because we're going to be there for a while. And if we choose one of your songs, we will send you an exclusive sticker. So I got to hit you guys up. There was someone the other day, I forgot the name of the person, but they were like, hey, you picked my song. It was one of the people where there was no, it was like one name and no contact information. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll send you a sticker. He said, no, thanks. So I appreciated that. It just made me laugh. He was just happy that we picked it and, shared some more details, but I thought that was funny. I was like, I owe you a sticker.
You sure said, tough shit, I'm sending it to you anyway. Give me your address now.
Give it now. We're collecting data. Okay. Well, we'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And I think I'm going
All right, so let's hear this Bob story.